there's somebody's birthday coming up. I don't know if you know who it is, but his name starts with a B, ends with an N. Before the N, it's an A. Before the A, it's a G.
Is it Mr. Bean?
No.
Can I join your set?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to do a movie review?
Yes.
Okay. So if you haven't seen the movie of The Last Jedi,
Leave now.
go watch it now and then come back and watch this video over again.
Is everybody gone?
Show me. Raise your hand if you're gone. Is that how that works?
I'm gone.
So tell us about your favorite part.
I like the part where she's like at the start, she's like, it's like the Force is just lifting rocks. And then at the end, then Luke says, no, it's like a mind power, not just lifting rocks. And then at the end, she's like, it's lifting rocks. Because she had to lift this big giant rocks.
What about the light speed
Light speed. Oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
through the ship?
Yeah, it was just like, and then the sound just went off. It like split.
Okay, tell us what do you think about the movie though?
It's totally wrong on my preview.
How much of that did you get right?
0%. Oh, yes, Snoke died. I told you Snoke would die. Either because of a bomb.
You got 1% right.
I got 1% right.
So last I checked though, the scores on it for like fan scores are only at a 53% approval rate on it.
Wow.
There's a few different reasons why people don't like the movie as much as they should. And that's because I think the main reason is expectation.
Yeah.
You know, with the fact of Snoke was really not as important. There really wasn't necessarily a reason for him to have a backstory or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because between like 2 years ago, after The Force Awakens came out, there's a lot of speculation on who he was, trying to make him seem like super important. And then also with the backstory of Rey, trying to say, people trying to assume that she had some super important parents and all that. And so there was all these expectations and what fans thought should have happened, but they didn't. So I think people are disappointed by that. And then the other reason that I believe people thought or were disappointed in the movie was they kind of get distracted about what the actual movie's about.
Beep boop, I have a robot eye. You can't see it.
You know what I'm saying though? People don't get the real meaning behind the movie. They see it as a 2.5 hour long chase through space, which technically that's what happened, but that's not what the movie is actually about. When you're writing a story, there is a story element called a MacGuffin.
Oh yeah, you told me that.
It's a plot device that writers use that seems super important to the storyline, but in the long run, it doesn't really matter to the overall picture. The chase itself was basically the MacGuffin. It was there to move the important part of the plot from point A to point B where they needed to get to. So the movie, it's not about a chase. The movie is about the journey that these characters make from who they are at the beginning of the movie to where they're going to end up being at the end of the movie and where they need to be moving on to the third part of the trilogy. It's taking all four of the main characters. There's four main characters. You know who the four main characters are, right?
Rey, Finn, Poe, and
Kylo.
Okay.
So in The Last Jedi, it's basically it's their journey from where they were to begin with to where they need to be to move on in the movie storyline.
Did that distract you?
A little bit.
It's about Rey being the last Jedi.
You take a character like Finn. Finn started off as a very single-minded kind of person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where he was focused solely on himself and Rey, basically. That's all he focused on. People are complaining about how Finn's storyline doesn't seem like it serves a purpose. What that whole scene does is that shows the transformation of Finn being focused on his and Rey's survival to realizing that there's a bigger picture out there, that he can sacrifice himself to save a whole bunch of people. Poe was, while he's there on the spaceship, that's his transformation from being that lone gun hotshot pilot kind of guy that he starts off at the beginning to transforming himself into becoming the leader that the Resistance needs. And then with Kylo Ren, he is taking on that position as the big bad, major bad guy. People don't really focus on what the actual story is of it. They see, oh, it's just a big long chase scene, which the chase is not really important. They could have had anything there, and that wouldn't have really mattered. It's the chase is what gets those characters from where they are to where they need to be. Okay, now you can talk.
Wait, what was I gonna say?
I don't know what you were gonna say. Oh.
That
Hey.
reminds me.
Always Chewbacca.
Oh,
To answer your
Chewbacca.
question, always Chewbacca. From the options you gave me,
I love
always
porgs.
Chewbacca.
I love porgs.
That scene was pretty funny.
What?
Where Chewbacca was eating that one.
Yeah, he was like, when Chewbacca was eating the other bird, they're all like just, because he was eating their friend, and then Chewbacca just yells and the others fly away and one stays. And then he's like, "Argh!" And then he just flies away. Just gonna show this. There. So guys, did you see those letters? Remember those letters I showed you, the boxes? If you can remember right now, put down the word that it spelled out in order. Oh, and put your favorite song, only two favorite songs, comments down below, because we're gonna do where I sing those songs. Dun dun dun. Goodbye.